Salvete omnes. This is Magister Hodges, and I just wanted to go ahead and kind of lay out some of the protocols and instructions for completing one of the more important consistent things we'll do throughout the year for introducing and learning vocabulary. We're going to do a bunch of different things, including sentence builders and etc., where you have just words in chunks. But for novellas and whatnot, you're also going to get just Quizlet sets of individual old school vocab lists. For each unit or novella that we do, you'll get one kind of be like a core vocab list that'll have the most common words in there. These vocab lists will include new words as well as words that we may well know from Latin 1. One way to just to maintain accountability for studying the vocabulary is at the beginning of each of these units, I'll assign you a Quizlet Learn Mode assignment. If you're not familiar with Learn Mode, I'll show you it in just a minute. But this is just basically a way to go through and get, practice repetitions with each of the words so that you're, to ensure familiarity with it. It's a good thing to do before you start reading, is to go through the vocabulary or use any of the other game modes on Quizlet just to familiarize yourself with some of the words. If you find yourself getting tripped up on vocab a lot while we're reading, you're going to want to kind of take a step back and maybe complete this Learn Mode assignment first before trying to read. Now, each Learn Mode assignment, since these vocab lists will be somewhat lengthy, for example, our first one, Familia Mala, is 90 words. A lot of words that we may already know, but some that are probably new. You're going to have a couple of weeks to complete these from when they're initially assigned, and those deadlines will be laid out on Canvas. So anyway, the way that we're going to make sure this works to set it up for so you can get credit. To access Learn Mode, first step one, you're going to want to make sure that you have joined our Quizlet class, which was one of the first things you should have done during the intro module on Canvas. I'll go out here and show you how to get to that if you're not a part of our Quizlet class. So in our Canvas course, which of course is not up here, there we go. If you're looking at our module screen, click modules over here. You'll see one of the first ones is required accounts. That'll take you, your screen will look a little different from mine, but you'll see a screen where this slide is embedded, and you will see this link here for Quizlet. You will click that, and it may ask you to join, to sign in. You will sign in by using your school Google account. And by joining my class, you're going to get access to the premium features that you would otherwise have to pay for. I pay for it, so you don't have to. So make sure you do this first. You should only have to do this step once. Okay. So back to Learn Mode. Okay, so once you've joined our Quizlet class, anytime you click on one of my links for a Quizlet set, should take you right to it if you're logged in. If not, you'll have to log in, go into my class, and maybe search it. You'll just search the name I give you. Once you open it, you'll select Learn Mode, which you will see right here. So this is for a Latin 3 text, but you'll see up here in class activity, then self-study, and you will see learn. The Learn Mode is right here. So you'll click that to open Learn Mode. I've already done some of the intro screen for this one, so I'll give you some more information here in a second. Your overall goal for this is to have 100% of the words marked as learned. What Learn Mode does is it shows you the words in a bunch of different ways, whether it be a multiple choice question, written question, or something like that. And then once you've shown Quizlet that you've answered the question correctly 3 or so times, it'll mark it as learned. So you're going to go through in each word, you're going to see a few times. Once you have 100% of them marked as learned, then you are done. When you have completed the Learn Mode, submit a screenshot of the 100% learned screen in the assignment, in the Canvas assignment. If screenshots won't work for whatever reason in the text box, please confirm that you have completed the Learn Mode as well as what your username is for Quizlet so that I may go in and verify. You do not have to do all of it in one sitting. It can be pretty long, especially with for a longer thing. For vocab lists longer than 30 words, you'll typically have 2 to 3 weeks to complete it, and the deadlines will be marked in Canvas. So on the next few slides, I'm going to, as you go through your Learn Mode, there are a couple things that you're going to want to do that I'm going to explain right here. All right, so step one, when you first open up Learn Mode, it'll ask if you want to quickly study or memorize it all. For this assignment, you're going to be memorizing it all, so you click that. Then the following screen will ask, how well do you know it? And this is up to you. It's all new to me. It means it'll start you off with simpler questions. I know most of it means it'll kind of skip to the ones it thinks are the hardest, but you will have to verify that you know all of them eventually. I think I know some of it. If you feel like you know some of the words, isn't a bad spot to start off. And if you start getting a lot of them wrong, it'll kind of bump you back to simpler questions. It adapts itself depending on how well you're doing. Okay, so that's the first thing. You're going to select memorize it all. And like I said, you do not have to do all of this in one sitting. If you log out and log back in later, it'll have your progress saved. Okay. So sometimes on the questions where it asks you to provide a written response, in some of our vocab lists, you'll be given the multiple principal parts of a word. Like for nouns, you'll be given the nominative singular and the genitive singular. When you're answering, you only need to really include one of these, typically just the nominative singular, but you can just type in whichever one you want. After the first time you see one of these questions and you answer with only one of the words, it'll come up with this prompt. This question seems to have multiple answers. How should we grade it? You just click require one answer. You'll only have to do that once for that set, and then it should be fine. Okay. Sometimes in our vocab lists, certain things like macrons, the long marks, will be included. I don't require that you guys have these memorized. So if you, once again, on a written question, say like the English word me, the Latin word me, actually has a long mark over the E, but you can see here when I answered it, I didn't include the long mark E, and so it marked it wrong. When that happens, you can select this over here, override, I was correct. And then it'll mark it as right. I would only say do this if it's like one of those situations where you made like a minor typo, you knew the meaning of the word, it was just one of those small formality things, then you would click override, I was correct. Okay. Yeah, and that should help with any of those situations. And I believe, yeah, those three things, that's basically it. And you just kind of keep working through until you get to 100% learned. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to message me. And best of luck studying. Walete.